Welcome to the Silhouettes of Success podcast with your host, successful entrepreneur, broker, and business mentor, Amber Weitzer. Because success comes in all shapes, sizes, and styles, the Silhouettes of Success podcast is shining the light on industrious women with a collection of curated conversations of intentional inspiration designed to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, feed your soul, and gift you with actionable insights directly from inspirational, everyday women who've shown tenacity, grit, and grace, having taken on the challenges in their lives and business and won. Remarkable, down-to-earth, and relatable, Amber and her guests will share with you uplifting and extraordinary real-life success stories, motivational ideas that just might help spark something within you. With the deepest desire to serve you, help you grow so you can begin to shine the light that will illuminate your very own silhouette of success. So, let's get to it.
Hello and welcome to the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success. Our VIP featured guest is the heart and soul of Ippodaro, and there's more to come on why I did that. A natural salon based in San Antonio, Texas. She is a certified cosmetologist and a certified organic color systems user and strictly uses cruelty-free and vegan colors. She continues to be involved with continuing education and works closely with the Redken Exchange in New York City and Vidal Sassoon Advanced Academy, honing in her skills and creating beautiful hairstyles, silhouettes. Let's welcome Terri Rehkopf to the show. Hello, Terri. How are you?
Good. Hello, Amber. Doing good.
Good. So before we break into this, I never sing. I am not a singer. You'll very rarely ever see me doing or hearing me do karaoke, but you and I were talking before we hit the magic record button. I want you to indulge me for a second. I want to see if this is going to work. I'm totally throwing you off the script here. But I want the audience to hear what I heard when I wanted to find out a little bit more. So we're going to see if this works. You game?
I'm game. Let's do it.
Got to brag on you here. Let's see if we can do this.
All right. Are we singing the Ippodaro? Ippodaro, down on Blanco.
That is the best. The
That's
best.
where you go.
All right, girl, we're going to get into that in a second, but I wanted the audience to feel that had me so hyped up before we got on. I'm just sitting here bouncing in my chair. It's too good not to share, and I'm sure you pay good money, so why not? All right, my lady, this is all about you and showcasing your journey and your silhouette of success. So let's just get to it. To kick off the podcast, I enjoy having you share more about the early shaping of your silhouette of success with the audience. So talk to us about your background.
Okay, my background. I wake up to a beautiful man, my husband Vince, and I have 3 beautiful children. Tyler being 17, Charlie 9, and Harper 8 months. In the mornings, we get the kiddos ready, more of the 2 younger ones. I get to the gym 3 times a week. Then I head into work and start my day. I work behind the chair, and throughout the day, I train our team along with taking Wednesdays off from behind the chair to do more intensive training with our team during those days. I love working on the business and working in the business. And I love to cook on my days off and spend time with my family and continue inspiring ways to be more holistic in my life and to influence people around me to be holistic and just purely enjoy life.
In the audience, we're going to share, of course, your social media contacts and anything else that you're going to want to share with them to stay in touch. But in watching everything that I came across, just the energy, you are loving life. It looks like you are living your best life so far, at this point in the journey. Your energy, it just absolutely is, as they say, contagious.
Yes. I mean, why not? Right? I think positivity just spreads and it can uplift anybody that you come across. It uplifts me, uplifts the other person. So why not? We get a choice, right?
We
Every single
do.
day.
Yes, yes. Thankfully, we do get that choice. Talking about a day in the life of, and you shared with us, about beautiful family life and how you have your week structured. So that would lead into a part of my question is, are you fully structured in a routine? Are you more spontaneous? But it sounds like you've got it pretty well laid out. You've got your gym block, you've got your days off. Um, how does that work for you? Was that organic, or did you have to work on getting that? Did you have any coaching to say, "Hey, do this, this, and this"? How did that all kind of take shape?
Honestly, I think at the beginning stages of the business, I never set time for my me time. I always was fully all in, and I'm the type of person, like, once I'm fixated on something, I just want to do my all, my best, and just growing it and forget everything else. And I realized, as I kept going on, especially the beginning stages of my career, I realized I was burning out. Because I think it's very common in anybody that is a leader, that is running a business. You always want to be the best for every person. And what I forgot about was myself. And I kept going and, listening to podcasts of other entrepreneurs, just deep diving, like, okay, what are they doing for balance? And then I realized, okay, they do require balance in their life for sanity. And so organically, it was a slow rising, I guess. I first started going to the gym. I wasn't fully committed to it at first, but then I realized when I do go to the gym, that's my time to decompress. That's my alone time. And I felt like I was a much better version at work, coming to work more uplifted, and more clear. And so I would say sort of organically it happened, but it took time. But I do so much better when I have that routine in place, and I don't steer away from the routine unless I get sick, or and that has helped me through the journey. As far as, and it's always room for improvement, but I find that routine definitely helps, for clarity, for peace, and to be able to keep trucking on.
Do you find that it also is beneficial for the family, for your family to, and even, especially maybe your husband, that you've got this routine, and does that work to profess
Yes,
that so they
it
know where you
does,
are?
and
Yeah.
I definitely think it helps that we both motivate one another to give ourselves that little bit of space. So it's helpful that I have somebody that also encourages me to do that for myself, because both him and I are very, we're type A, we're all in and anything that we do. But he's always also a great reminder. He tells me, hey, the kids miss you, and vice versa. So I think it's very helpful to have another teammate, that believes in what you're doing, and just kind of, and if you steer off, you've got somebody that's accountable that can say, hey, you're going off the deep end, come back. That's been really helpful.
The
Mhm.
partnership and great communication, right? I think is,
Absolutely. That that
yeah.
is that is key.
Yes. Who who could you, or who, or sometimes it's something, can you tie back that maybe influenced you the most as you embarked upon your career path?
Honestly, I think Jeff Hoffman, he is the founder of Priceline. I actually did a business retreat with him a couple years ago through Grow Disrupt. And we went to Utah. It was like a 2-day retreat. And he really honed down in, really, this that was my most influential, because he was big on implementing systems in a business so that you could walk away And I still struggle with this. It's where the business will function on its own without the owner, so that the owner can go and continue expanding the business in ways. He was my biggest influential just because from where he started to through his journey. So I would say Jeff Hoffman has been my most influential. He definitely impacted me in shifting the way I did things in the business.
That's amazing. Now, are you a part of you mentioned a group. Are you a part of that group? Did you just come across a retreat or
Yeah, so for the past 4 years, I was she actually is from San Antonio, and the Grow Disrupt, and she does retreats in San Antonio, and then she does like these vacation retreats, which you have a celebrity or a speaker that comes in-house. So they are part of a group, and I have done that for the past 4 years. Yes.
very cool. All
Mm-hmm.
right, talk to us about your salon because it's a very niche. It's amazing as I was learning more about it and you and your fabulous team. That was fun. Dive into the inspiration that led you to, I would say, open it, but it's more you're creating something.
Yeah. So I grew up in a hair salon my entire life, and my mom was a hairdresser. So I always grew up watching her run a business. And so at first I resisted, but then I ended up going into the hair because I would do hair on people even when I was in college, just on the side. It was always my kind of, okay, this is a relaxing period of time for me. I love making people pretty. And so I graduated Cosmo School, got out of college, and I started helping my mom in her business on her end of the business side as I was trying to build up my clientele. That was the moment when I realized I wanted to do my own business because of the challenges that I learned from her and seeing her. And my mom has always instilled a healthy eating, healthy lifestyle all my life. And so, as I was going through my journey, I did take some advanced courses in London and in New York and Dallas. And in that journey, I realized I saw a lot of teachers that were no longer able to do hair because of health factors or autoimmune deficiencies that they were, you could see their skin. And that's when I realized that I wanted to start researching and piecing together having long exposure to the chemicals in traditional color, bleach, toners, relaxers. And that was often the root of their illness because they were behind the chair dealing with chemicals for so long in their period that they moved into education. So the more that I met people that struggled with health and seeing stylists no longer able to do their career because of health reason was really the main reason why I wanted to start a natural hair salon. And it's something that could help. The more I educated myself, the more I lived my life around a holistic living, the more intrigued I got. And the cool thing is, we get to help people with their mental health. Not only that, but also help them guide to using cleaner product alternatives. So it's just something that I've always wanted to do, and even helping the environment, sustainability. And I get to create a culture that most salons doesn't, we don't see a lot of the salons out there offering. And so that really pushed me to be, you know what, let's create something different. And a lot of backlash that I did get as far as opening this route, but I'm still a believer. It takes time for people to come around because it's not mainstreamed in our hair industry, but I strongly believe if we can find some sort of solution to these illnesses, and still allowing people to be able to do beauty things just in a more healthier way, we can navigate. And so that's my why.
So
I can go on about this.
yeah, well, I'm gonna have you because I have, a half a page of notes here, and I'm just making so many different little, I guess, scribbles and bullet points. So you are not only, and this is my take on what I'm just trying to read my scribble. But you are not
You're
only,
good.
yeah, you're helping Okay, so this just took a little bit of wind out of me in a just an awe-inspiring way. I clearly was looking at it on the most basic elementary level in doing my I now I can't even say I did some due diligence on it because clearly I'm learning a lot more. I was looking at it from being a customer, a client in your chair, and you're doing this great thing for, obviously the environment and the animals, but more your clients, right? Who you're working on.
Yeah,
But what I think just has thrown me is your story that had nothing really to do with that in my mind when you're talking about you saw it from the side of watching the stylist and the professionals that they were struggling because
yeah,
of their exposure.
yep,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, if it starts with us, and if we can, that knowledge that a stylist can carry on is going to spread to guests that come in.
Yes.
We have a lot of people that are in remission with cancer, and they just don't have an option. And I think it's really fun to be able to navigate people like, hey, bring your bottle of shampoo that you use, and we can look at the ingredients and tell you if it's good or not. I mean, it's very overwhelming, I think, as a consumer, what's good and what's bad, because there's so many things that market saying that things are good, but then you turn the bottle around, you're like, wait a minute, that's not good. But even organic things can cause allergies to people in general. um, Even if it's a clean product. So that's where we come in, and I think just the more we influence the stylist, the better that we can help people out there as far as the consumers. Mhm.
So with all of this research you're specializing in this, and
Mhm.
again, I'm very curious now about how it just has shifted everything for me in a just crazy way here. But is there a high level of resources for you as you are going through and um, putting this out there, but for the stylist? So the on their continuing education, is there in your industry, are there a lot of resources for your professionals?
There really is not. You really have to dig really deep to. There's a lot of resource, but if you're not, it's not like in your face. So
Yes.
you really
Yeah.
have to, and then you have to be picky about who you're getting the information from.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's, unfortunately, it's not, like I said, it's not on the mainstream. And so if it's not in your, if it's not affecting you, we typically tend to not. Okay, well, why would we want to look for that? um but I think it's just constant research if you're in that realm. And that's where I want to provide that gap as to, hey, here's the knowledge that I know and what I've found in years of research, based on, and I still research till this day, because people still come in with things that I'm like, okay, here's another problem. We got to find out what is causing this and what's the root of this. And so I would love to just fill that gap in and make it much more of being us as being that resource of piece of resource. But definitely, I'm always open and transparent in where I get my information. And I love connecting others to each other, if any way that it helps. I've talked to many different physicians. I've talked to toxicologists. I mean, I have a whole list of things.
I can hear it. I can just see
Yeah.
you maybe looking around like this is, all your different information or resources stacked around.
I really, I mean,
Oh,
my
wow.
maternity leave, that's what I spent my maternity leave in doing. Yeah.
Y- You're going to need a product line soon, I'm thinking.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yep. And an education program. So, okay. So we'll just put those, I will bullet point those here. That's for later.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Just phenomenal. Um, so, so thinking through when you are maybe let's put your business hat back on as an independent business owner, where do you turn to for support? You've talked about your group that you've been a part of, but where do you turn to when you need support?
Oh man. So recently I started to join a Bible study group. And if you know me, I am spiritual, but I don't push things on people. It's really just journey of, because I think as us entrepreneurs, we always are going to have our up moments and we'll have our down moments. That's just part of the journey. And um, lately, I've just been turning to the Bible. Just reading stories has really helped me to, especially with inflation and things going around right now. It's been tough this year. Not gonna lie, and just turning to some positivity for myself and finding these little stories that where I can kind of uplift myself. Um, that's really what I've been doing a lot. And definitely, I always turn to podcasts. Rob Dial is another one that I really like listening to. He's a mindset mentor podcaster. He always kind of jolts me back and puts things into check for me. So, um, but I'm always looking for something because it's just part of journey. And I think as a business owner, you're when you have your down moments, it's very easy to say, why am I doing this? What is why? The why. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, everything's peachy and good, because it there are moments where it's not. And you just my biggest thing, I had a client come into me last week, and the first thing he told me, he's a business owner himself, and he just said the first thing he did when he sat down was, we just need to push through, Terry. Just got to push through. I didn't say anything to him.
Hmm.
And that was just like, okay, he's right. We just got to push through. um, so, I mean, I definitely encourage finding support groups when you have your down moments. Those are so important and helpful, and recognizing when you are in that down slump. Social media, that's a big problem of where you go in and kind of ignore everything around you. And I was finding, oh, that and Angry Birds. I had to delete Angry Birds off my phone because I was having a problem. I was like, okay, something's wrong. 'Cause anyway. So those are my signals. Were like, okay, I need to find myself a support group right now because I'm avoiding something.
Hmm.
Yep.
Well, isn't it intriguing that he came in and he instinctively shared? He made, he was in tune enough. Clearly he's a client, but he was in tune enough with the happenings, and so right there is a monumental dose of support. Maybe right when you needed it, but didn't know it quite yet until maybe 2 hours later. But
Yeah.
that's very cool to have
Yep.
those folks that just kind of the spirits walk in and just give that to you in that moment.
Absolutely.
What a gift. So, thinking through, and let's just stay on that for a second. Maybe there's a time that you might get stuck or need motivation, or maybe it's a goal or a dream that you're after or have achieved.
Mhm.
Is there any best practices that work for you to kind of get out of that zone?
Um, I realize when I get in that zone, I need sleep.
Mm, yeah.
And I reflect back on my day, my week, my month, and I really see how much was I doing. And typically, when I reflect back, I realize I did too much, and this is why I am where I am right now. And it kind of gives me that jolt of, okay, Terry, you need to take, even if it's a sabbatical, sometimes taking a week off just to reset. Um, I realize whenever get to that feeling, I know that it's time for me to take a little break and don't put more on
Mhm.
my plate.
That goes straight into another, kind of a point on that we typically go into and talk about. And it's how do you recharge, right? And rest your mindset after you just feel emotionally exhausted.
Yeah,
There's always going to be many to-do lists to work on, which
absolutely.
is part of the game for everybody. But that's great. So take the time off, listen to yourself, listen
Mhm.
and acknowledge, oh, girl.
And
You are
that's
just
hard
like,
as
"Ooh."
moms
I'm
too.
like, "Yeah, I know." I know, and you've got the little one too. Well, 3, but the little one.
Mhm.
Okay, my lady, we're gonna take a quick break to hear from this episode's sponsor, and we're gonna be right back. I personally have been investing with Ashcroft Capital for about 5 years. I know the co-founder, Joe Fairless, pretty darn well. He's my brother, so I can personally vouch for him and how he approaches things. I like investing with Ashcroft because of the monthly cash flow. They buy apartment buildings, improve them, and then sell them. It's a good business to be in, and I'm glad to passively invest with them. You can learn more at ashcroftcapital.com. That's ASHCROFT capital.com. All right, Terry, we are back. I get great feedback on this question, and it's really a two-parter. Can you think of a specific point in time, whether it was an event or key situation in your professional life that really had you take a monumental shift within your business or career? And going through that, positive or painful, how did going through that help you grow?
I think the monumental difference or the change that is when I first started opening, I didn't have systems in place. And now implementing systems, the pain part was when we started implementing the systems, we had people on the team that didn't agree with that culture and it took about 6 months to realize that, okay, this person was not the great fit as we were implementing the change. But it was okay because it was for better. Once the systems started to get into place, training took a lot easier. People were on the same page, and it shifted into a very positive where now I can say that I have a team where it matches the core values, it just everybody can lean on one another, and that's so important. And having that system in place where people are not questioning what to do for the next step or that I have to say has been the most monumental change for the business.
Going back to what you talked about in the
Mhm.
structure. Yes,
Yes.
yes. Keeping that good energy flowing so you can focus on what you love and you know what just lights you up. So that is amazing. What feeds your soul? Like what really just
You know what
nourishes
really
your
feeds
core?
it is when I see that a light bulb turns on to somebody that I'm training, even if it's somebody in my chair, even if it's somebody where they shift and it clicks for them. Because, training somebody can be sometimes you have to get on their wavelength to make them understand or they got to go through it. And that's what really feeds my soul is when I see them excel and go like hard on to it and succeed in what they're doing in their challenge. I have to say that that is what feeds my soul a lot. And when I can find a solution for somebody's
Yeah.
problem, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I mean
It's
that
a win.
that's
Yeah.
what keeps me that's what keeps
Yeah.
me going every single day.
Oh, I can so see that with you. I can absolutely see that with you. You are a giver and an educator and a nurturer. I can absolutely see that. Oh, I love to hear that. So, Terry, I'm watching the clock. We're going to start winding it down, my lady. Yeah, your energy is awesome. I don't want to do this, but
Oh.
I know you have things to do. So, um, you mentioned a couple of resources earlier. So we all enjoy exchanging great resources. And I think that's what really helps the audience and all of us just collaborate and grow with each other.
Mhm.
Um, do you have any resources that you'd like to share that I always tease? I said, it might help uplift or expand our minds or just get us through that day.
Yeah.
What would you want to share with the audience and what makes it a favorite?
I have to say, I got introduced to Tony Robbins' "Awaken the Giant Within." That I have to say is so good for your mentally training your brain to always be the positive way, your perspective in whatever challenges. That is probably that's a book that I read this year, one of the books, and it's I still reflect back to that because he gives you a lot of insight on when you're feeling a certain way, like if you're distraught or if you're irritated, how do you turn that into a positive thing, So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Have you read that one, Amber?
Yes, and we're gonna give a shout out to Tony again.
Yeah.
Tony, as it is well deserved. I tease because yes, I've read that and been to his events and yeah.
Wow.
So we're gonna you. So Tony, did you hear that? Terry gave you a shout out.
Yeah.
So that is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. And there's so many times that you could read that, and depending on, you hear these seasons of life, and you mentioned the Bible, so I know that's a good way to say that, but different phases, or you're ready to hear something, or you don't read it that way and you don't hold it, just like that customer coming in and sitting in your chair.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay, awesome. Anything else you'd want to share before I scoot on?
I so appreciate you taking the time to interview me today, and I'm excited to learn more about silhouettes of success. So this is
Oh,
this is really
me
great
too.
what you've done, Amber, what you're putting
Oh,
together.
okay, you weren't supposed to give me a compliment. This
Well, I wanted
this is all about
to.
you, my friend. Oh, thank you. You just gave me goosebumps. It's a passion, right? Supporting each other and showcasing all of you women. It's beyond, and you highly, highly deserve all of these great things and to be out there and what you're doing. And I can't wait to see. I think we'll do maybe a part 2 and maybe part 3 with you because I can just see so much potential in what you're doing.
Thank
You're
you.
just, yes, absolutely. All right, milady. So, a couple more quick things. As we begin to close out here, we love to keep our promises with the audience and share intentional inspiration. So, do you have a piece of key go to advice that maybe you hang on to dearly, or that something that resonates with you? Do you have something on your desk, or what would you want to share with the audience?
You know, my I guess my intentional piece of advice. Well, I guess the man that's a good question, Amber.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you have your vision, you're gonna have people that come into your life that are gonna be challenges, good or bad. Don't give up. Keep pushing forward. That's one thing that I do see is when the going gets tough, that's really when you need to stick with it. And if focus on the people that are around you that do believe in everything that you do, and focus on that and hold on to that. And don't ever the systems. I'm going to go back to the structure. I
Yes.
don't the reason I that was my biggest mistake is not having that in place. And I feel like we could have done, but you know what? Everybody has a different time frame, and
Yes.
be open minded to everything that comes your way.
Mm.
It will open doors for another opportunities. And my favorite quote is, be the change you want to see in the world. I always reflect back to that, especially when you're in your cloudy moment. I always remind myself to be the change, rather people do you wrong or do good. um, just stay that way, and just stay open to everything around you.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
Everybody,
Be
let's
open.
go. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, break. Okay.
Yes, I know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm going to give this stage to you completely. Where can our audience go to find and connect with you? Whether it be on your socials or any contact information, and support you and your continued success.
You can actually go on our website. I'm going to spell out Ippodaro because so it's Ippodaro salon.com. And you can actually call us at 210-524-9744, or direct message us on Ippodaro Salon on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We usually respond very quickly. And if you just want to drop in and say hello and just come hang out, we're open to that too. So that anytime you can have some coffee with us. Our team loves, we just love talking to people. So you'll definitely see that environment within us. So just stop by, say hello.
Well, you've got us all. We're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Your energy off the charts, just embracing. Thank you. What a great day we're having. Thanks to
Absolutely.
you. Oh man. All right, my lady. This has been so invigorating. Selfishly for me, you have got me on cloud nine. So thank you for you and all you're doing for us. Thank you for taking time today to share your silhouette of success story. You are a true light and inspiration.
Thank you, Amber. So are you.
Oh, thank you, my friend. All right, until next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Silhouettes of Success podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on all the new episodes. We are here for you and with you. We encourage you to share this podcast on all your socials and pass on the light to help illuminate another silhouette of success. To find out the latest ways to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, and gain actionable insights, subscribe at thesilhouettesofsuccess.com or connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We're grateful that you tuned in. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be, right here with us. This is the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success.